Culminating project by Mina Tanaka. I volunteered at Woodstock Farm, and we worked on a small hillside pulling invasive species, planting sword ferns, and spreading mulch. Invasive plants are introduced species that can thrive in areas beyond their natural environment. These plants are usually very adaptable, aggressive, and have a high reproductive capacity. They outcompete native plant species, and that is why we try to get rid of them. One of the main invasive plants we took out were the stinky bobs, also known as Geranium robertanum. Their seeds are sticky, making it easier to adhere to wildlife, people, and pets, which facilitate a wider range of infestation. That's me pulling out invasive plants. Eutrophication happens when there's not enough plants on the hillside to absorb the water. This creates nitrogen and phosphorus to run off into bodies of water, creating algae blooms. Here, phytoplankton flourish at the surface, producing oxygen. Then, phytoplankton die and drift to the bottom, providing more food for decomposers. Decomposer population then increases and consumes more oxygen. Insufficient oxygen suffocates fish and shrimp at the bottom, creating dead zone. This is why dead zones are bad. To help prevent eutrophication, we planted sword ferns. That's me planting a sword fern. Lastly, we spread mulch. Mulch has three main purposes. It holds water and releases it slowly. It keeps weeds from rooting again because it's loose soil. And it provides organic nutrients to the ferns. As we learned in lecture, it's important to get nutrients from the exchange bowl and not from reservoirs. While weeding out invasive plants, we found many earthworms. Earthworms play an important role in breaking down dead organic matter in a process called decomposition. Decomposition releases nutrients locked up in dead plants and animals and makes them available for use by living plants. This is another good example of getting nutrients from the exchange pool. It is important to have well-nutrient soil because plants rely on the soil, herbivores rely on plants, and primary and secondary predators rely on herbivores. As you can see, each trophic level relies on each other, and each trophic level is very, very important to the ecosystem. My volunteer work answered the big idea of the human influence on ecosystems because in just one day I was able to help prevent the spread of invasive plants, help prevent eutrophication, and improve the quality of the soil in the ecosystem. We must keep in mind that our everyday activities greatly influence the ecosystems for the better and for the worse.